Hey guys, what's up? In today's daily financial market news, most markets were more muted today. This came on the back of a few reports in the Asia Pacific session, which led the market to be a little concerned on the US-China trade talk developments. This came on the back of reports circulating on Tuesday that the US would remove tariffs on the September ones they've already increased towards the 10% on the final remaining billions. This came as a bit of a shock to the market, and the market reacted in a kind of a predictable way. Across the board today, most indices, major ones, were mixed or quieter. For instance, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is only down 0.8%, 0.08, take that, percent on the day. Also in the session, we saw the S&P 500 also down a similar amount. We also saw the FTSE up a little, 0.03%, which is quite minuscule in the larger, grander scheme of things. Also in the session, we saw the German 30 follow a similar route. In the Asia Pacific session, things were also quite similar, with the ASX closing a little down, with the Hang Seng closing a little down, but the Nikkei 225 rallying a little. This came on the back of it being closed on Monday, so it did have a little bit to catch up over the week. Also in the session, we saw equities relatively mixed, as you would expect on the back of indices being mixed. For instance, Apple was down 0.6% and Facebook was down 0.9%. This came on the back of investors moving away from tech stocks, as you'd expect, with the market uncertainty starting to rise on a potential no resolution, I would say, on the US-China trade talks ahead of December tariffs, which are supposed to go ahead in December, as you'd expect. Also in the session, we saw Nvidia down 1.5% as tech stocks kind of suffered quite a bad day in terms of the overall picture. One thing to note, and quite of interest, was CVS Health Group, which reported their third quarter earnings and kind of left the market a little surprised with their forward guidance. This came on the back of quite a difficult year for the CVS company, which has kind of suffered with in comparison to the S&P 500 climbing more than 20%. However, CVS has only climbed negative 3%. This is how bad the kind of move's been for the stock. However, with the latest report, things do seem to be on the up and up, and in today's session, the stock climbed more than 4.6% towards the $71 barrier. Looking at commodities, things were also quite mixed. The kind of biggest mover of the day will be the crude inventory reports, which are due to come out later this evening, and it will kind of signal us the demand and also the supply picture in the US, which is kind of a good barometer for the overall market. Also in the session, we saw copper a little lower, and so too natural gas. Natural gas, as I did report earlier in the week, has been kind of the star this month, rising more than 15% since the 1st of October and carrying on towards November. Also in the session, we saw WTI and oil a little mixed, with WTI up but oil down for reasons I've just discussed with the report coming up this evening. Also in the session, we saw gold a little stronger, as you would expect on the market uncertainty, but not a significant move by any means. In the bond yield market, things were also quite mixed. There was some positivity but also some negativity. In the US 10-year and 2-year, there were a little positivity in the market, whilst in the German there was a mixture. Also in the UK yields, there was a positive in the 10-year but a mixture in the 2-year. This kind of signals the general market consensus and mood. A little positive but a little risk off too on a potential negative development with Trump and the US and China trade talks. Finally, but not forgetting, is the FX. Things were quite mute today, as you would expect, with little drivers in the market in terms of data. We did see some lower tier indicator data from the Eurozone earlier, which kind of signaled a bit of more positivity, but all still in the contractionary levels. Also, in terms of movers of the day, we saw the Euro USD little moved on the day. We also saw the Dollar USD a little weaker on the day, as you'd expect, with the pound remaining mixed ahead of next month's election. Also in the session, we saw US dollar Canadian a little stronger, as you'd expect, with oil a little mixed. Also, finally, but not forgetting, is the two key kind of risk barometers, the US dollar, Japanese yen, which was a little mixed on the day too. This came on the back of yesterday's US data, which was a little stronger, which saw the US dollar, Japanese yen climb over the key 109 level. However, it fell back today, and it will be key to watch whether it can break and hold above the 109 level, as this could mean a more significant move higher. Illustrated in the chart in front of us, we can see the US dollar, Japanese yen, which is kind of operating in an inverted head and shoulders and potentially about to break the downward trend. Also of note in the session was the US dollar, Chinese yuan, which is quite of a key interest in terms of the trade talks. This morning, in the Asia Pacific session, the Chinese referenced it at 6,999, which is kind of a key level below the $7. This will be quite key to watch as whether they keep devaluing it or appreciating it going forward. A kind of consensus is that due to the trade talks with the US, they will be starting to appreciate the currency against the US dollar. That's all for today, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much.